Welcome back to Retiring Today. We are going over the web's most searched questions. So what we did for this one is we typed in what Medicare. Well, if you've got a Medicare question, who better to answer it than AnnaMarie Morrow? She is the director of Medicare at Merkle Retirement Planning. So Loren, Sean, go ahead, just sit there, soak it all in, because AnnaMarie is about to talk.
This is easy street. We're ready to listen.
Okay, so AnnaMarie, what Medicare? Let's see what questions are being asked about Medicare.
All right, I feel like I could guess the first one. Let's see here. What Medicare Part A covers? And therein lies the beginning of the alphabet that we all hear about every day. So basically, Part A is a part of original Medicare, and that covers anything within a hospital. And you elect that in conjunction with Part B, again known as Original Medicare. That's what you're electing when you turn 65 or when you plan to retire later on.
And can you just have Part A, or do you have to do A and B?
Yeah, you can just have Part A if you are going to continue to work past the age of 65. You're not making contributions to an HSA account. Go ahead, elect Part A. It could come in as a helpful supplement if you do have any hospital stays later on.
Okay, let's see what's next.
Perfect. All right, number 2, I can guess that. And yes, I'd be right. What Medicare Part B covers?
It's like she gets these questions
all the time. Never, yeah.
It's like this is what she does for a living.
Exactly.
You know what people are searching because this is the questions you're getting to.
This is what first comes up when they know they have to do something with Medicare at age 65 or when they retire. It's, well, what are these letters? What's A and what's B? B is everything that happens outside of the hospital. So that's going to be your doctor's visits, your clinic's visits, your physical therapies, everything outside of A. Now there is a difference between A and B, and that is what you pay. So A, if you've worked the qualified number of quarters or your spouse has, then A, there is no premium. But what do we know about Part B?
Income-based?
Income-based. So we have pulled up the IRMA graph. It's known as IRMA, and what that stands for is Income-Related Monthly Adjustment. And what this is the government does a 2-year look back on what you claimed for income. And this is so important to have with you as you are approaching age 65, when you're making your retirement plans, if you're over the age of 65, is be aware of this. There are a number of times when Sean and myself or Loren and myself are sitting down with a couple or an individual and they have an idea of what their Part B is going to be. You know, everyone's heard about the 170-10. And then as we go through their tax planning, their investment planning, their income planning, it turns out that they're going to have to pay close to $600. And that's just for them. That's just on an individual basis. And if you're married, each of you are paying this amount. So that could be just under $1,200 a month just for Part B. That's not even including a supplement. That's not including your medications. That's not including dental, vision, all the other things that we're thinking about within retirement. So definitely have this in your back pocket when you start to think about retirement. And 2-year look back, you can even start thinking about this 2-3 years in advance, because there are different strategies that you can implement that could help mitigate this cost. Now, it's not all bad news. Please still enjoy watching this show. You do have an option. If you have this life-changing event, such as retirement, clearly your income is not going to be what it was 2 years ago. So you do have the option of filing an appeal. Once you receive your IRMA letter, they will let you know that you will have this increase to your premium. You have 60 days to file this appeal. Meet with your planner, talk about tax strategies, talk about income, and see how you can file your appeal efficiently and what you can expect if the appeal is denied, because this is not an official document that you can file and expect it to go through. It can go either way, but just be prepared for what can happen if you are a higher income earner.
Yeah, so that's those numbers up there are really important, because this is where the income plan, the Medicare plan, as well as the tax plan all intersect. If somebody's expecting to pay $170 a month for Medicare Part B, but they end up paying almost $600 a month.
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference, and that's per individual. So if they're married, that could be times 2.
And how many times have we heard, oh, well, can we even retire now? Like, that is their main question after they see numbers like that.
That's exactly right. And then other tax planning strategies could influence what they're going to pay in Medicare too. So Roth conversions come to mind right away. If you're implementing a Roth conversion, that's going to add to your taxable income, which could influence, it could move you from the 178 to the next tier, which is 238 or even beyond. So these are all things that we have to talk about as planners and Medicare specialists to make sure that our families are paying what it is they expect to pay. They don't have to pay any more, and they're still making all the right decisions on these other pieces of their plan that intersect the Medicare piece.
And a great point too, just to add to that, is that you do fluctuate between that from year to year. You don't get locked into that top level. They look at that 2 years every time, so you're not stuck at the lowest, you're not stuck at the highest, depending on the planning decisions we make. There can be times that it does make sense to be at a certain level 1 year, and then that can benefit you in the long run.
Yeah, because if this isn't complex enough, it changes every year. Not only the income restraints or the income restrictions as far as what takes you to those tiers, but what the premiums are, as well as the tax code changes, all these moving parts. So it's not a set it and forget it type plan. This is something that we have to pay attention to each and every year to make sure everybody's on the same page with how all of these moving pieces come together. Thank you for watching this clip of Retiring Today, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have questions about your retirement plan, take advantage of the complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup phone call.